being shined here. So.
What's good, what's poppin'? I said, what's good, what's poppin'? What's good, what's poppin'? Okay, I said, well, I'm catching major vibes. The energy is immaculate, as you would expect. Here in another episode of Funky Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and I really do promise to give good content for the masses, but most of all, I promise to always keep it funky. Now, I'm excited because I wouldn't even say very few times, but like there's in this climate that we're in, to really appreciate the creativity, to be able to appreciate the wordsmith, to be able to appreciate nouns, verbs, similes, metaphors, and all forms of satire. SAT word, look it up. Yes, but I said all that to say, the individual that I'm talking to, you may have heard of her through music, but she's a very educated woman, might I add. This person is a rapper, a Howard University alum. Should I say HU? You know, like my brother went there, so therefore I should have the right to kind of say that. Sister-in-law, just a little bit. Okay, keep it going. And star of her own upcoming docu-series, I present to some and introduce to others, Lady London.
How are you? How you doing? For real, how you doing? Real question.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Good.
You still got your gloves off?
Yeah, I took them off. You took them from me earlier. They're pink though, like your outfit. I thought you was gonna wear them.
No. See, one thing about this, this street still go one way.
Oh.
So I don't know what you was trying to do with that pink word, but you know what I'm saying, what they say, real men wear pink.
Right.
You know, I'm in my killer
Yeah.
killer.
Let's pull a range around the back, the pink one.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But how you doing? How you talking?
I feel good. How are you?
The energy is good. I think every time I have an opportunity to sit across from a person, you pick up energy, you pick up, you know, just the flow of that particular person.
Yeah.
And like I gotta come to you correct, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, watch how you talk to me, watch how you handle me, you know what I'm saying? Just is what I've observed. But before we get into all that, let's talk about your docu-series that you have with Tubi.
I have a docu-series coming out on October 10th.
Okay.
It's a 3-part series all at once. You'll get it on Tubi. You can sign up for free. About 45 minutes to an hour each episode, and it'll really like just unpack my journey making my first album, which comes out next year. So.
Now, just so people know, you do have projects on what they call the musical platforms,
DSP.
but they are not albums, they're projects.
Right. Yeah, I have a mixtape out called Lady Like the Boss Tape, available on like SoundCloud and YouTube, and then on DSPs I have an EP, extended EP called Soul.
So yeah. So there's so much that I want to kind of talk about, but this is the thing. Like, we were talking very briefly off camera. The thing that makes you different is you're very educated. And I don't think that's highlighted enough. Very, attractive, and I'm saying this with all due respect. And understanding that this is not the norm when it should be. And what I mean by that is when you hear female rappers or woman rappers, you're selling the stereotypical type things. But for you being in this lane, how have you been able to stay true to everything that you represent?
I think it isn't difficult for me. I don't have a mistake of identity. I think I came into this game knowing exactly who I was and who I wasn't willing to be in order to reach certain thresholds. So I think it's coming around. We're experiencing a certain dynamic right now in music, but I see a shift on the way. So I'm gonna stay steadfast in what I'm doing so that I'm right where I need to be when opportunities.
Has it been harder than expected?
Yeah, very difficult.
What's the stigma that you have to fight through?
I think people just don't want to think. Gen Z is a very simple-minded consumer group. So, you know, we come from the people that can listen to 4-minute, 5-minute songs and ingest them. And then now songs are like 1 minute and 58 seconds. The attention spans aren't even there anymore. So I think the hardest thing is trying to get into the new generation and like penetrate their cerebrals and get them to kind of think bigger.
Do you feel like your skill is overlooked or not even mentioned?
I think it's overlooked by the mainstream consumers for sure. But I think it's mentioned. It's mentioned amongst like niche groups. But I think it could be bigger.
Yeah. There have been very impactful figures in this culture and in music that have voiced and said that you are the most slept on.
Yeah.
Right? How and what needs to be needed for you to get the respect that you deserve?
Resource. Comes down to nothing but that.
Wow.
I don't think talent or work ethic can rival money being put behind it and machines actually working at the same time. So if I had a machine working in tandem with me to make sure that I got maximum exposure, I think I would be exactly where my counterparts are, exactly where my peers are, maybe even further.
Now, when you mean resources, for the person who hears that, right? The first thing that jumps out is obviously money. But me knowing what I know, it's not just money, it's the support. But with that comes a little give and take. How important for you is the creative process? How important is you to stick to your guns of who you want to be and how you want to be seen? And how has that been for you up until this point?
I can maintain my creative integrity and my creative control if people just was willing to take a gamble on the unknown. Because the thing that's happening now is they're recreating the same artist over and over again because they see that it worked before. So if they are willing to
Can you give an example?
Did you do this every time?
Ever since the biscuits got bigger.
Here comes big ending.
Bigger biscuits, crescents, and cinnamon rolls.
Woohoo!
Game day at our house, everybody eats. Nuggets are made with real meat and look just like my favorite foods. So Oliver gets a treat as delicious as mine. Because it's game day for them too.
I won't give specific examples, but I can say like, how can I put this?
You don't have to mention names, obviously,
Yeah.
but that was a word that you just said.
Yeah, so basically let's say somebody is on TikTok, right? Let's just say person A is on TikTok and they make a song that is about tacos. And they're like, okay, that shit went viral. For some reason, it's all over the place. Nobody can stop singing this song, whatever. The next label that comes in is looking for somebody who's making a song about tacos because they saw the tacos work that one time.
Yeah.
They're not willing to listen to a song about Greek salad because it just don't work. You know, like instead of taking a gamble on maybe we're not even talking about food no more. Maybe we're talking about something else. Maybe that artist will go maybe just as big. They just aren't willing to.
So for the people who are not hip to this young lady right here, like obviously preparing for this show, I had to look and I had to, kind of see what people see in you from the, what you call it, the Lady Lundays to going on other platforms and freestyling. It really made me question like, yo, are these really freestyles or are these really songs? Because so much, it's like I can close my eyes and there's not a lot of people that can do that, right? Like you can close your eyes and you can see a picture being painted by the words that are being said. And that's what I appreciate. In this climate, as you said, with Gen Z, some millennials too, we have this swipe up brain. It's like, okay, you got 5 seconds, if that, to get to your point and to make an impact. While you're creating and knowing that, has that altered how you create music? And have you even thought about creating a viral song on your upcoming project?
You know what's crazy is I feel like I have tried, not in my upcoming project, but in the past I've tried to like cater to a certain algorithm, but every time I've fallen short. But I find that the things, and I've been viral over 50 times, which is a beautiful thing for me.
So flex.
But calm. But the beauty in it is that I never tried. And any of those times that it went viral was my most organic, most just being me moments. And I just don't know how to translate that into commercial success. So that's been my, I guess, give and take there.
Yeah. Now, for the people who may not know you and they see this and they hear you have a 3-part Tubi series that's coming out, what is multiple things, but what one did you want to showcase in this piece? What should the fans look forward to who have already been fans? And how can you create a newness in the community that you want to kind of pander to?
I think for those who know me, it'll just be an introspective look into my actual day-to-day life, which I don't share much of. So it'll be cool to kind of like feel like you're in the house with me as I'm getting ready for this event or that event, or the nuances that go into making an album and how difficult and complex it may be. For those who don't know me, I think it'll be cool to kind of see my journey and like what I'm actually experiencing in real time. And then some people will not be interested at all. I mean, I've watched the documentary so many times, I don't want to see it anymore. So, I mean, I don't know how people will take it.
Yeah.
Some might be interested, some might not be.
Are you sensitive?
Extreme, I'm a Cancer. I'm extremely sensitive.
What'd that be?
Well, we can get into it later. What are you? What's your sign?
I'm a God. The God that I serve said I'm a direct reflection of him.
Okay. So God also illustrated the stars as signs and symbols to paint the image to Abraham, so it's definitely constellations and things like that are talked about in the Bible as well. But we can get into when's your birthday. I can redirect the question.
Okay, every day is my birthday.
Okay, fabulous. Love that.
Yeah. Like there's like a part of me that's like Kanye West, and then there's also a part of me that like TD Jakes. And I'm just trying to ask you a question. I'm sorry, it's just May 11th, 1989. I was born on a Sunday, Mother's Day. I am my mom's favorite son. She would never admit it, but I think that to be true.
Got it.
She has 2 other sons. That means that vagina was powerful. That was TMI, but needless to say, I'm here today. Grew up in a very loving household. That words and that expression that I use will have gotten me slapped because I grew up in the church. So yeah, that. Let's talk more about you and that. Let's like me. You being a Cancer, what does that have to do with?
We have characteristics of being, I think one, in any zodiac description, I think it governs your temperament, not so much other characteristics of you. So the reason why I say I'm a Cancer and I'm sensitive is because it's associated with emotional, or having an emotional capacity that's like overbearing, but I think I'm more sensitive than emotional.
What are the days and the dates for the Cancer?
June 22nd to July 21st.
I got 2 kids that are Cancers then.
Nice. Sweet kids, nice kids.
No, for sure. Heavily emotional. But they my dogs though.
Sure, they're just misunderstood.
No. Listen, Dad. How have you used that as a superpower for you though?
I think it comes with a give and take. There's definitely like a keenness to it, to my sensitivity that's overly observant, that can see character for what it is at first sight, and it works out.
That's what you can do.
Absolutely, great.
So, what does your intuition say about me on first sight?
That's for me to disclose afterwards, but I'm still learning. So
Say that, you're still processing.
absolutely,
System processing.
for sure.
That's cool. Would you say that freestyling is a lost art?
Yes.
Why? And where did it die?
I think it died with the requirement to actually know how to rap in order to make records. I think we used to have an appreciation for lyricism, and I think that's the core of freestyling as it is. And to be clear, I think people also misdefine what freestyling is, because people are like, oh man, I wasn't a freestyler, I was a written. The thing about it is freestyling was never meant to be off the top of the head. Freestyle means that you can talk about as many topics as you want under a blanket. It doesn't mean it wasn't pre-written or whatever. It just means it accompanies an entire broad spectrum of topics. So that's what freestyling is, whereas songs are more tailored to a specific
A topic.
right? So
being that it may of you being such a eclectic thinker, right? Who are you fans of? Like, you even breaking down freestyle, I was like, oh, dang, you may be right. I just thought it was like, yo, no pad, no pencils, just go.
nah.
But with your richness of expression, do you hold that contempt to people you listen to?
No, I don't. Not everybody's strong point is that, but there are people that is. So some inspirations that you asked for me, I love dating all the way back to Slick Rick. His ability to paint vivid imagery with his storytelling was way ahead of his time. So I would say Slick Rick. Big Daddy Kane, and his just smoothness and his ability to connect in a relatable level. He was arguably like the Drake of his time and able to, in the connectivity way. Jay-Z, Big L, Jadakiss, Lauryn Hill, Aaliyah, Quincy Jones, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. Yeah. True savants of their craft, people who actually took the time to.
But as you're listing those lists and those people,
Yeah.
that was 2 generations ago. The oldest person is Jay-Z. You said Lauryn Hill, you said Janet Jackson, you said Michael Jackson, you said Quincy Jones, you said Slick Rick. What about, or is that a message in its own right?
Well, I think you asked for my inspirations. I'm inspired by the people that came before me, not the people that sit beside me.
But if you were really listening to the question, I said, who do you enjoy listening to today?
I think you said who was I a fan of, but I don't know. I could have misunderstood.
You probably was right.
Okay.
My intentions was trying to.
It's okay. I saw the bait, but yeah.
Bait?
Yeah, it's what you put at the end of a fishing rod to grab fish and reel them in.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Yeah, you just tried to bait me into giving you the answer to a question you didn't ask.
Say that.
I like the pink can. I think it's doing it. Like it works for me.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm glad you chose that. Pink is like my 3rd favorite color, so that works.
I don't know whether to appreciate that as a compliment or something like just like get out of here.
No, I don't do those.
Okay, let me tell you what I don't do. I don't do 3rd.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Got this.
What's number 2?
Right?
What's number 1?
Fluorescent beige, which is the inside of your collar. So maybe you're first after all.
Fluorescent beige.
I promise to love you, to feed you the food you deserve.
Blue Buffalo started with a promise to feed our dog Blue the highest quality ingredients, and it lives on in every bowl you fill.
I promise to be your best friend forever.
Yoplait is America's favorite strawberry yogurt. Made with real fruit, it's a good source of protein, and it's wonderfully creamy. Now that's delicious. Yoplait, America's favorite strawberry yogurt.
When did you know that you had that skill and wasn't afraid to kind of showcase that?
Freestyling?
Just using your words in a rhythmic way.
I think when I was like 11 or 12, I was always writing to kind of get away or escape. So I think I learned back then that I was pretty witty with words or clever.
Is that something that you feel you were born with, or that was something that you just worked to get better at over time?
I think, of course, I think almost everything is a question of nature versus nurture, but I do think from a genetic standpoint, I think there's a lot of slick talking people in my family as a whole that use their words pretty wisely. But I think it was nurtured and cultivated on my own. So I think it's a skill set rather than like something that I was born with per se.
Now, can you think back during the time where, because most people have skill that they don't showcase in front of people.
Yeah.
When was that time for you where you felt comfortable, whether in an intimate setting, heaven forbid, friends, family, or strangers, that you really felt comfortable in your own skin and said like, yo, hey, I'm a poet, hey, I'm a rapper, hey, I'm a singer, hey, I'm a this, I'm a that? What age was that?
The first time I remember showcasing my art was in college. And I did it because they were like they were giving like prizes, like Chipotle gift cards and shit like that for the winners of poetry. Need that. Super need that. Yeah, so I would go and just submit my art, or I do like the open mic and win every time. I win like a Chipotle gift card. Back then the bowls was like $6. Me, two of my friends split the gift card, you know? Everybody eats B.
Everybody eats.
Exactly.
When was the first time, that you did it to strangers? Like, through in that way, but like, I guess for me, if somebody comes up to me and say like, yo, I can sing, it's already a negative. I don't know why. And that's just like, even if it's a dude, it's not a gender thing. It's like, yo, if somebody comes up to me and say like, yo, I can sing,
Yeah.
and you get to singing, you already starting in a negative state. So you will have to like, yo, dang, he can really, like, she can really sing. And then you start talking about like, hey, I can rap.
So you're saying when people say to you that they can do it and then start to do it, or if, what?
It could go two ways, right? So somebody hype somebody up, like, yo, y'all, just London, like, she can rap.
Yeah.
Right?
You automatically
Yeah,
expect it.
Chipotle, what you talking? And then I automatically assume like, you can't. And that's just a honesty for me. Was there ever a time where you performed with like, no, I can really do it?
Every time I perform with conviction, because I know I could do it. That's, I mean, whether y'all believe I can or not, it's cool, but I think I walk with that stride when I perform, always. That's why all the end of my freestyles, you always see me have a very effortless, I lean back in the chair, because I know I did that. Simple.
Where'd that come from?
I think when you spend enough time not seen or in the shadows of things, when you see light, you embrace it. So you want to shine a light on me, I'm going to make sure y'all understand why my light is being shined here. So
Now, some of the subjects, right, because you have a different way of kind of tackling a lot of things in your, your wordplay. But what's the common centerpiece of like what draws the most inspiration for you?
in my writing process,
Yes, ma'am.
I get inspired by anything. Really life events. Like I can travel and get inspired. I get inspired from relationship dynamics that don't even pertain to me.
I
People
know
that
that.
I can hear my
I'm
friends
crazy
going through
right
something and
now.
I can get inspired to
Wayne's
write.
Labyrinth space out is
I write
crazy.
in
It's
pain
gonna,
a lot.
It's gonna look good.
I'm learning to write in happiness. But I can get inspired from anything. I mean, yeah.
So going back to kind of Tubi and obviously your new project that's coming out, what are necessities that is needed for you to tap into your purest form of creativity?
Silence, solitude, sunlight. And enough time to actually get off what I'm thinking. My life is a clusterfuck of scheduling. It's like I gotta be here, I gotta go here, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. I'm always like in a state of like problem solving or troubleshooting something. Like if I can just not have anything on my plate, that's the best time for me to create. When I don't have nothing upcoming, nothing pressing, no fires to put out, that's when I can do what I need to do.
Now, when you said solitude, does solitude to you mean alienation, or do you give the green light for people to be around you and you block that out?
The purest form of my creativity comes in pure isolation. Yeah.
Is that moments? Is that days? Is that times?
It varies. I think the best is when it's at least a couple days where I can really sit in something and then be able to share with the people that I trust their judgment the best. But in creating it, I like to be by myself for a while.
Do you hear the song first, or the melody first, or the words?
I hear the beat first. The beat speaks to me first.
Is it the sound or the tempo?
It's usually it's a little bit of both, because the tempo tells me how to say it. The sound tells me what to say. I mean, the melody tells me what to say. That makes sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I remember a person who was around me would always ask these vivid questions, especially to people who are bilingual, right? And even for creatives, it kind of goes the same way, but he would always ask, for a person that was bilingual, what language do you dream in? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even think about that.
Yeah.
So when I'm asking that question, it's like, yo, how do you create? Do you listen to the beat first, the sound first, or the melody? Like, those things, it's like, well, it's not the same thing, but a lot of times people just throw it all together, and that's what kind of prompted that. So, you know, you've obviously been a person to, I'm not trying to curse, so
Oh, good. Read those.
put that on. And I'm sorry to make it awkward, because I'm working on myself.
Pop your shit.
Pop it. Like, we're like, fashion for a lot of people means a lot of different things. For Lady London, what does fashion mean to you, and what does it do for you?
I think it means embracing who you are at that moment. Because I think a lot of people try to box themselves in with fashion, where it's like, I'm this is my
Make
aesthetic
sure to
overall.
have a
Like, I think
foundation
aesthetics change with
brush,
eras
and you
of
want to
who you
blend
are. I think
everything
I
out
wanna
together.
always
It look crazy
insist that people
now,
have
but once that
unlimited times to
I
reinvent, to
blend it out,
rebrand, to
it's gonna look really good.
redirect themselves. So
Yeah.
whatever era I'm in is what my fashion will reflect. So for me personally, right now, I'm in an era where I feel like I want to look like I just got snatched right out of a 90s video. I always want to have ethereal, undeniable beauty that kind of like is stripped. Like, take all the theatrics away. I feel like you look really like cute. Like, you look really put together. I always want to look clean and like I smell good from camera. That's what I want to give always. What about you? I want to know what inspires your
You see what
fashion.
I'm saying?
For real.
Today, or just in general?
Great question. Today and in general. Let's start with today.
Okay, that's a warning. I can't prompt your questions. You said you just took, you want to ask the question, you're like, you know what, boom, yeah, both of that. So that, I'm going to do it this first time, but.
What do you mean by you can't prompt my question?
So, you know, you just asked your question, and I just said, are you talking about today or just in general? And then you just kind of echoed, like, no, today and in general.
Yeah.
That can't happen,
Okay.
but it will.
Okay. Trying to figure out the parameters.
Look, I'm not serious, I'm joking with
Oh, okay,
you.
perfect.
So,
Perfect.
all right. Today, I think what prompts my fashion decisions is I hate when I see two people wearing the same pieces,
Okay.
whether the same shoes, whether the same shirt, whether the same hat, whether the same glasses. I never was a fan of following trends. I was the guy that was setting his own trail. Like, if everybody rocking J's, man, I'm rocking Forces. Okay, everybody rocking Forces, I'm gonna rock the Reebok Soldiers. If everybody rocking the Reebok Soldiers, I'm gonna go with the New Balances, or the Sauconys, or the Chuck
Blend
Taylors.
everything out.
Or just the hard bottoms.
Except
I'm in
those.
this phase now. I said
And then
it
you
today
take
on
your
my Snapchat. It's
foundation
like, yo, I'm in a hard shoot era for
And
me.
blend the bottom half.
You know what I'm saying?
I'ma show
Now,
you. I'ma
whether
show
they're
you.
loafers, whether they're something, because I'm a businessman, and I do not play about my empire. I really don't. And if it comes in question where a person, place, or thing, that's a noun, challenges that,
Game day at our house? Everybody eats. Nuggets are made with real meat and look just like my favorite foods. So Oliver gets a treat as delicious as mine. Because it's game day for them too.
Does he do this every time?
Ever since the biscuits got bigger.
Here comes big ending.
Bigger biscuits, crescents, and cinnamon rolls. Woohoo!
then I gotta delete myself
Got it.
from that situation. I'm really giving you so much wordplay here. Like,
And yes,
Hopefully
this
the
is
person
full
can
glam.
appreciate that.
This is not
But
child's play. This is
today,
put that makeup on.
Yeah.
So if that you come in here to look for
I think
something
fashion
lame,
to
this
me
is
too
not
is
it.
a
This is
way of
full face
self-expression.
glam
And
that I'm giving you right
you know how
now.
you got friends or you got people that consider themselves like fashionistas and like be like yo, but you only got one look.
Yeah.
Like you only a fashion person because you got labels on.
Yeah.
Okay, you only a fashion person because you got urban wear. Okay, you're a fashion person because you just always look good in a suit. And even though that may be cool, with me, if I want to rock a suit, I'm
So,
gonna rock it down.
I
Like
just put on
3
foundation,
piece.
but I'm gonna put on concealer on top of the
Watch
concealer that I
chain,
have
Right.
already,
lapel pin,
so I
pocket
can get
square.
that really, really bright look.
That is
I
nice.
wanna look really,
That is
really
nice.
highlighted
Everything.
in this
You know what I'm
area.
saying?
So
If
I'm
I
gonna
wanna
take
go
this color
urban,
again
I
and
can
put
do
it
that.
down
If I want
here.
to go preppy, I'll show that. If I want to wear
Thank
jerseys,
you.
I can do that too. I just want people to not be able to
I
like,
gotta be careful.
man, he don't. No, that's not me.
Well, how would you describe your style in one word? That's an adjective.
Can
How
I use a
I
word that I've
describe
already used?
my style
Eclectic.
in a word,
Say it again.
I would say
It's eclectic.
Well, the heavy on the N because
There's no N in it.
no. It's my word.
Oh,
Sexy.
let's unpack this. Okay, got it. It's your word.
Eclectic.
Spell it for me.
NCLECTA.
Okay,
Eclectic.
eclectic.
Do you want to know what the N stands for?
Niggatry. Am I right? Okay, respectful.
You see where I was going?
But
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
I know there's a new word. We gotta hit up Webster,
No, we ain't got to hit up nobody.
Oxford, nobody.
Why would we do that? Do they relate to us?
I'm pretty big on words. It's kind of how I make my money, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool, but you just use people that don't have Thanksgiving morals that I have.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting in.
Please, because I'm crushing it right now.
Are you?
Webster and Oxford, like, they gonna eat what I eat in Thanksgiving.
Got
That
it.
smell ain't the same. They may be around cousins and aunties, but
Mhm.
they feeling, you know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Let's talk about education.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a secret weapon for you? Or is that something that you are forced to kind of shun?
all right.
Not gonna
So
shun.
I try to
No,
put
I embrace
like
everything that is a part
the
of me. I will never shun any
concealer
part of
on
me.
and
And
allow
that
it to
may be
sit
my
for a
downfall.
second so it
Much
can
like
get
yourself,
really
I'm sure.
thick. So if that you've
not
been
downfall,
trying
but you know, like
to
just the
do a full
it is what it
face,
is. I'm
this is
proud
that
of my
time to learn how to
education.
really do a full
It's a big thing
face.
for me. It's a big
Like
thing
you
for
about
my
to step out
family.
for a
And
photo
it'll be a
shoot,
big thing for the family
for a
that I
big
create as well.
event.
It's
This
just
is the makeup I'm gonna be
I
giving you
think our goal
every
as a
time
people
that
is to
you're
educate
here.
and to be
So it's
educated. And it
makeup.
doesn't always have to be
Now,
related to college or
that I've
actually
been
collegiate
there,
education.
I'm
I
gonna
don't think
blend that out.
I don't think education goes hand in hand with schooling, because what I've learned in my environment has definitely gave me better tools to navigate my life rather than school. But I think the more you know, the more you can navigate, and the better off you are.
What did you study?
In undergrad, I studied sports medicine and chemistry, double major, and in grad school, I did global medicine with a
Grad
concentration.
school was Cal? What was it?
USC.
You smart.
Yeah. Some might say. A little bit of niggatry though too.
Oh, hello?
Yeah. Balance, equilibrium.
Do you have that's I was gonna use 2 letters, but I'm gonna let you be the one. That balance gotta be chemically balanced.
Mm-hmm. This guy. Okay.
I'm
I'm here. I'm with you.
But that's how, when I was listening to you, it's just like, hold on, rewind that. I see what you did with that word and things like that.
I like to use my fingers to blend out the nose so that like it's really clean, it's not messy. But now that you have everything on, it's time to bake and set everything. So I set and everything differently. I'm gonna show you how
I
I do
went
that.
to Blaine College. I got my associate's degree
Okay.
in horticulture. Not a lot of people know that. horticulture is a study of plants. And this is not a person that, the first thing that look at a dude, be like, Rastafari, dog, he smokes weed. Like, I've never smoked weed a day in my life. I grew up with my father, and my father had a landscaping business that we were always around plants, sod, shrubs, flowers, and things like that. And I was interested to kind of like, first off, how can I graduate fast? And they gave me a list, and I was like, oh, horticulture, boom. So I got that. In order for us to have transferred from junior college, you would have needed to graduate. So I graduated with horticulture, went to Auburn University. Well, first I went to Florida, but didn't get no degree from there. Went to Bland, got my degree, associate's degree. Now at Auburn, I went to the league first. And if it wasn't for my coach, Mike Shula, I would have never got my degree. Because not that I was in denial or not that I was even needed a degree, he just put so much perspective on finish what you started. And I didn't have a lot of credits left. So therefore I had more money than everybody in my class still going to class. And I appreciate myself for going back because I now had a newfound respect for education. That experience was something that was extremely needed for my life because I saw it doublefold, right? As a student athlete and just as a regular student, and how much time that I had on my hands to devote to learning. And I graduated with my sociology degree, and that's the study of people. So when people like see Funky Friday, and they be like, why can't he be saying this or what be happening? I really be enjoying having conversations with people because I don't judge. I just ask the question to better understand what makes you tick. While studying sociology, I took a couple psychology classes too, which was very intriguing. Also religion classes too. But Miss Lady London, we keep getting sidetracked by me because I can talk. It's just naturally.
That's fine. Let's share the interview. No worries.
This is what I do want to know. Because similar to your trajectory of education, a lot of people don't talk about this battle. And I've had this conversation with my my younger brother. The HBCU experience versus the PWI experience. When I said that, what's the first thing that you thought about and explain?
Polar opposite, entirely.
Explain.
One, a HBCU is a community through and through. I mean, if somebody don't got the homework, somebody else that help you with the homework. It's like we are all in it together for the greater good of the next thing. I speak for at least like studying academic-wise. When I was getting my master's from USC, it was like we were all competing for this one degree. You know, it felt like it was like they didn't want to study together. I don't know if it was, well, a little bit of background on me a little bit for my USC program. I beat all odds getting into this program. This program had an 8.1% acceptance rate. 5.6% of those students were Black. 1.8% of them students were female. So in my class, I was one of only 2 Black girls in my entire cohort.
How big was the class?
Gotta be at least 100 people. So automatically odds set against me. Nobody wants to share study guides. Nobody wants to do study sessions, which I'm not used to, especially from a STEM background with science majors. We gotta stick together or we'll literally die in this motherfucker. So, very different in that regard. More organized.
Not to cut you off, but were you on campus for both of them?
Yes.
So you was in California or LA, and then you were in DC, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was on campus my first through 3rd year at Howard, and I did 1 year in my master. I finished my master's program. That was a 2-year program. I finished in a year, and I was on campus for that as well. But it's different. The faculty is different. The financial aid on the bright side at the PWIs, they got their shit together. Not gonna lie.
They don't play about that, and it hit.
Yeah, it hit on time. You don't be in that office all day.
Yeah.
But I love my HBCU, and I think it's integral for not only Black people, but for culture, for the greater good of the community, of communities in general, because it teaches you not to feel guilty about speaking out, organizing, and taking issue with the conditions of African Americans in society. And as quiet as kept, 72% of America is white people, but we really need to learn how to navigate as Black people, and that's what HBCUs teach you, how to navigate the real world in real time, no matter the socioeconomic status or your racial background.
That's dope.
Yeah, I would do it all again.
Okay, you only can choose one.
Yeah.
No. I'm about to ask you a list of questions.
Okay, let's do it.
You only can choose one, and this is my version of freestyle.
You're laughing at your own jokes already. This is crazy.
Does that make me like a narcissist? Okay.
Oh, you don't want the real answer? Go ahead.
It does?
Go keep going. That doesn't make you a narcissist, but
What makes me a narcissist?
I didn't say you was a narcissist, see?
But you said that, insinuating that it could be something else.
Yes, assuming makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, that
I
was
wouldn't do
something that we learned as fourth graders. But
Right. What was the question? Are we doing rapid fire? Come on, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, you only can choose either PWI or HBCU. You ready?
Right.
You have one night and one party experience.
HBCU. I thought I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's a definite.
So, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Fashion on campus.
HBCU.
Football experience.
What kind of football experience?
Like
Actually a good game?
PWI or HBCU?
But context, actually a good game? Like a great team or what is it?
The question has already been asked. Whatever you go for, you
PWI.
I promise to love you, to feed you the food you deserve.
Blue Buffalo started with a promise to feed our dog Blue the highest quality ingredients, and it lives on in every bowl you fill.
I promise to be your best friend forever.
Yoplait is America's favorite strawberry yogurt. Made with real fruit, it's a good source of protein, and it's wonderfully creamy. Now that's delicious. Yoplait, America's favorite strawberry yogurt.
The game itself. That's what I'm thinking of. Because when I think of tailgate, I think of HBCUs, but
Homecoming.
HBCUs.
Did you pledge?
I did not.
Do you care to share if you were to pledge? Is there anything against pledging?
No, nothing against it. I think sisterhood is beautiful, but I just didn't make it my priority while I was there.
Relationships amongst faculty, like access to be able to hey, I need to meet with
PWI.
Just educational experience.
It would depend on the class. That's my answer. You can't tell me my rules.
I can tell you the rules if I only gave you PWI or HBCU.
I asked you your birthday earlier and you told me it was every day. So that right now it's PWI and HBCU. That's the answer.
Okay, but around all the other words that was given, I did tell you that it was May 11th, 1989.
And your mother's favorite child.
Yeah, but you heard mother's favorite child, but didn't realize that May 11th was uttered before.
No, I heard. I downloaded the She Was a Tourist long before that, but
That's cool.
got it. So
Not her on that.
overall educational experience. HBCU.
Loyalist cliques.
Meaning alumni network. I don't know.
Whatever you just
I
heard.
genuinely don't know what you mean.
Okay, look, what you have observed as cliques, posses, groups to be, what you've experienced, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have been a part of it, but loyalist cliques.
HBCUs.
Postgraduate plan.
Meaning.
When you catch the energy for HBCU and PWI, who do you think are more prepped for postgraduate success?
I think that can go both ways as well. And I'll explain if you
Please,
like.
because I just gave you the only two answers that you could do.
No. I can do as much. We live this life of freedom between the two of us. We do liberation shit. But HBCU, because the alumni network is more powerful than you could ever imagine. I speak for myself. It is a Howard alum at the forefront of almost every major thing happening, specifically in Black culture. Somewhere in there is somebody who graduated from an HBCU, most likely from Howard. I think PWIs innately, when people have nepotism or people that come from long lines of families and their dormitories named after your great-great-grand uncle, then yeah, of course you have that ability to perform well after graduation and setting you up in that space. So I think both of them have great results afterwards, after graduation. It's a possibility to have great results, and it's a possibility to have terrible results. It depends on the person.
So how did your family take that news of you doing rap instead of medical school?
It was not well received at first, but I think my family didn't really understand the capacity that I planned on approaching it, and they didn't understand how much notoriety I was getting from it at the time. You know, explaining to my mom, like, no, I'm telling you, like, man, Timbaland and them is hitting me, like, everybody likes what I'm doing. At the time, she wasn't on Instagram, so she's like, I mean, we had a plan, you know, 10 years, we do the medical school.
Yeah.
Because in our communities, we're taught that doctors, lawyers, athletes are the people that make money. You don't think rapper, that's not long term.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed. And so it took a while, but they're my biggest support system now.
Now, when you say parents, are your parents still together?
No, I didn't grow up with my father, but I grew up with a father. My stepfather raised me since I was 5 years old, and my mother and stepfather are still married, yes.
That's cool. Now, are they educated?
I was the first in my family to go to college. Yes.
How do you cope with that?
Cope wouldn't be the word that I use, I don't think.
Okay, I was the first in my family to do certain things too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me to cope with it.
What do you mean?
Dare I say millionaire? I was the first person that could just touch $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you have trauma bestowed on you for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use your credit card. Don't do that. Don't do it that way.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, my dad always said don't use it. He's like, use your debit card. You know what I'm saying? Hey, buy it right out. Like,
Yeah.
these are all traumatic things that has happened, and you start to say like, yo, debt to me, like debt is like owing somebody. Like, that's the worst thing that you can. But those things, as far as financial literacy and that as an example, was always something that I had to unlearn.
Yeah.
And not necessarily unlearn to say that he was wrong. It was more so to be able to say, like, to a degree, but if you look at it through this lens, it could be an asset to the things that you want to leverage as well too. So money for me, having money and being, dare I say, like I was wealthy at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a lot of people who shared my last name, still to this day, that can really empathize with that.
Right.
Like, my mother and my mother graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't college. They both met while they were in college. Both of my brothers graduated. My younger brother actually graduated from Howard and Auburn. And that whole thing was just like, okay, but when it came to money, that's why I asked you about coping, because being the first brings on its own different challenges too. So I don't know how that made you feel.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a burden and responsibility that's been placed on me. You know, I have 2 younger sisters, I'm the oldest, and I think it's a lot to lead by example in one regard. So I think it's interesting when you say like, you know, your father would say like, don't put nothing on the credit card, because we have this idea, Black people, I think in general, that we were taught this idea like we don't want to owe anybody anything.
Yeah.
Right? But our counterparts, the white counterparts will say, no, all we do is borrow money.
Yeah.
That's all we do. And they teach us wrong. They teach us to keep our credits at 30% revolving credit when white people keep it from 8 to 11% of revolving credit at a time. It's just so many things that, but the way I look at it is I don't believe in breaking generational curses. I believe in starting generational tradition. So we're moving in that direction, and when you move with that type of spirit, I think it makes everything feel a little bit less of a burden, less like something to cope with, and more like something to pioneer and walk in.
Who knows you the best?
Who knows me the best? It's a great question. Outside of myself.
Yeah, you can't use yourself.
I'm the subject I know best, but I would say maybe my youngest sister, my younger sister, my middle sister probably knows me the best.
Who doesn't share your blood that knows you the best?
Game day at our house? Everybody eats. Nachos are made with real meat and look just like my favorite foods. So Oliver gets a treat as delicious as mine. Because it's game day for them too.
Is he doing serving club?
Ever since the biscuits got bigger.
We don't speak ending.
Bigger biscuits, crescents, and cinnamon rolls. Woohoo!
It'll be a series of people, I think. My best friends, for sure.
Or singular or plural?
Probably plural.
Now, the next question is, I'm not trying to get messy or whatever. Has there ever been a person you've been intimate with that understands you mentally?
I've learned anybody who I've been romantically connected with or intimate with has either appreciated or understood me, but never both.
Ooh. Explain.
I think, in short, I think people have come into my life sometimes for the idea of me. A lot of people like the idea of what I represent. Outside of my artistry that you can see from the mainstream.
Alright, so
it's
now
the look
I'm gonna
of,
be on.
she's out the way. She doesn't talk
think
to
I'm
a
on too
lot of
smoky.
men. She does this and she lays low and she's. When you get into my life, you realize I'm
It's
slightly
getting
more
dull right
domesticated than you'd even imagine from the outside looking in. So I think people have appreciation for me, but never true understanding in that regard. They don't really know me. They don't really get it. And those who do get it,
So
don't know
now
how to
that's like
nourish
set and
it.
bacon.
Don't know how to make
I
sure
want to do some eyes. I
it's
think I want to
fostered
do
and taken
big
care of
eyes
and-
right
and
now.
loved properly.
So we're gonna smoke out
because
the
They just don't
eyes.
appreciate it.
Have you dated regulars or these are the people that,
What is regulars?
okay, in simplistic surface level talk, a regular is a person that does not have a blue check.
You know they can be paid for now.
I understand that.
Oh.
But a blue check with 3,000 followers, that's like an oxymoron. It's like, we know you paid for it, but
I don't know, there's blue checks with 200,000 followers that were paid for.
that's cool. But understand.
You mean like a Wikipedia? Because that's probably a better thing to say. We can go with that. Okay. I've had the displeasure of being on both sides of the side
What's
of
the
it.
gift and the curse?
The gift in dating someone with the Wikipedia is that they understand the load that you carry as a public figure, and they can relate to your day-to-day more than you. They can understand schedules. They can understand how, there's twists and turns that come with the day. There's travel things that may put imprints on our relationship or dents in our spaces. The cons is they have access to just too much at too much time. It's just too much increase in flow. I think the pros of dating someone that does not have a Wikipedia is just the luxury of them being there for you. But the cons, I don't know. It's a lot. It's loaded. But
Do
definitely,
you have a preference?
no, not necessarily. I like people.
The facts.
Yeah. at
Do
this
you
point.
think you're intimidated?
I think people could be intimidated. I don't think I'm intimidated necessarily though.
Explain.
It's not my job to disarm men. I think fear is a social construct. I think if you are fearful or intimidated by me, that's something to unpack within yourself. But I understand it. I get it.
You understand
Yeah, sure.
are you dating?
Yeah.
Right, so for that, is there a desire how you would like, or a preference for your counterpart to pursue you?
I think just approaching with a genuine spirit, and a certain confidence that isn't overshadowed by ego. I think people sometimes pair the two, where it's like, no, I'm not egotistical, I'm confident. Why'd you smirk?
I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I find a lot of the times. I think a calm spirit, somebody with mystique, but a confidence and a gentleness to them would be probably the best approach.
What's a non-negotiable while dating? Of the person that you're dating?
You have to be able to be called in an emergency situation and handle what needs to be handled. And a non-negotiable for me is please do exactly what you say you were gonna do, exactly what you say you were gonna do, and be exactly who you said you were when you met me. Absolute non-negotiable. Has to happen.
How do you hold that person accountable though? And has that led to relationships expiring?
I think so. It also has led to relationships persevering as well. Because sometimes people will show you their whole hand at the gate. They'll tell you, like, I'm really not great with communication. I'm really not great here, but I'm working on it. That's something I can work with. I can work with the disclosure, and then we get better in time. What I can't do is somebody masking or what they call love bombing or gaslighting or something that's just not transparent in the forefront, but it shows up later. Not really into that, but I definitely seen it be the decline of our relationship before. And I don't stick around to be disrespected much, so yeah.
Say this. One of my last questions that I want to kind of talk about is just the state of females in rap, right? And Cardi and Nicki have been going back and forth on social media. I mean, you have to be probably living up under a rock. The state of this commodity of hip hop, being a talent like yourself, how do you navigate through when you see certain things that's going on right now?
I literally just found out about that in my last interview today, so I have no idea what's even going on with them, but I mean, I don't concern myself with things that don't concern me. I navigate my own space. I'm trying to get my own way into this game, so I really don't get into other people's stuff.
Which brings me to this. Does women really support women?
I think so. I think I've gotten an outpour of support from my women counterparts in rap. Outpour. I think not everybody gets along, you know? I think a lot of people do and some people don't.
Now, I'm gonna go back to a question. What's your intuition about me?
I think you are like an onion. I think you are very layered, and there are certain nuances and complexities to you that maybe you even haven't discovered yet, but it is coated by a shell of a multitude of things. There's bravado, there's ego, there is a lightheartedness as well, there's a love for community, and I think it is a mask in a way as well too for something else that's a lot more gentle than you want to admit or willing to express outwardly. I don't know. That's my overall observation. Cool. With some niggatry, as always.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
Sometimes you gotta play the fool to the fool to make that fool think that you the fool.
Oh.
But in reality, they the fool.
So, you know, my mentor used to tell me never argue with a bum in the street, because to a person from a distance, they don't know the difference.
Jay-Z said that. As we end things here at Funky Friday, man, it was a lot of verbal sparring that, like, you just had to know to understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, appreciate your time, Miss Lady London.
Absolutely. And my mentor is DJ Clark Kent, who was right hand to Jay-Z, so I'm sure there was something in there.
Promise to love you, to feed you the food you deserve.
Blue Buffalo started with a promise to feed our dog Blue the highest quality ingredients, and it lives on in every bowl you fill.
I promise to be your best friend forever.
Yoplait is America's favorite strawberry yogurt, made with real fruit. It's a good source of protein, and it's wonderfully creamy. Now that's delicious. Yoplait, America's favorite strawberry yogurt.
Is that grammatically correct, Miss Lady London, or just Lady London?
I like the miss. Be a Southern gentleman about it. I appreciate it.
At all times. Now, how do we find a way to put an R in that miss?
Oh, no.
So you just, God damn. When I look back at this, I would be like, I was really on one of it. It must be just espresso, not espresso, since you wanted it. As we end things here, Funky Friday, ladies and gentlemen. When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
Let's try this one more time. Since it was so melodic.
Melancholy.
Since it was so melancholy, like, this is where that niggertree wants to come out. But I'm
Never
trying.
went away. Let's do it.
When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
There we go. Okay, it's gonna look similar to this. We're gonna use that camera, then we're gonna go to that camera, then we're gonna finish with that camera. We're going one finger, one pinky, one thumb, all together.
One love.
We got this.
Like, you so chill, so vibey, frequency. You slick a mind reader, though. When I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
Here we go. One hand out, one finger, one pinky, one thumb. All together?
One love.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss London, don't forget the lady.
Don't ever.
Ever. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciation.
Listen. Oh no. Let's see. That's cute. I'm feeling it. It's very simple. I want to fix it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Lex P.
And it's your girl, Drea Nicole.
And you are tuned in to another episode of Poor Mind,
where Drunks Mind speaks sober thought.
So, y'all already know, when I'm on this side of the couch, that means we ain't got no guests today.
Hey.
So, like I said this on Twitter the other day. I was like, we're gonna do a favor to the listeners because y'all have been supporting us for so long.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go back to dropping the solo episodes and the guest episodes like back and forth. But like I said, y'all have been doing y'all's big one with supporting us because we in high demand now.
Ooh.
And people want to come on the show.
We is in high demand a little bit.
I like that.
We got a lot of like really good episodes dropping.
A lot of fire episodes dropping. Well, what I'm liking is that,
All right.
first of all, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
All right, guys. This is the full face right
Happy
here.
birthday. Happy birthday.
And it's cute.
You see how I get that?
Very
all
simple.
okay? So this is a special birthday episode for Drea.
Very doe eye look.
Thanks, y'all.
But thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I gotta go.
Y'all did a phenomenal job with the background beat.
I'm all writing and stuff like that. So
We a band. We finna go
One band, one sound.
y'all know me. I want to fix
So
everything.
yes, this is a special birthday episode for my girl. So we came in the studio to record this. So this is like the first time in a long time that we've recorded an episode and it's dropping like 2 days later. So we can talk about a lot of like things that are going on right now. So I'm really happy to record this episode today.
I'm excited too, and I love the decor. Like, the decor is so nice. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, y'all, for all decorating for me. This is so beautiful.
Yes,
It's
and
so
you look beautiful.
Thank you, girl. Yeah, I did a little one too. To Alright, I feel like this is giving very classy.
It's giving
Okay,
a
yeah.
classy
I'm turning 33. I'm classy.
That's better.
I feel like that's a lady.
Not
age.
your
Like, I'm
Jesus
becoming a
year.
lady. I'm not really like a
You're a
girl
lady.
no more.
Yeah,
I'm a lady.
This is your Jesus year, right?
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my Jesus year. But I always be trying to figure out what exactly does that mean because Jesus died that year.
That's when you become that. But he was risen.
So it's like a rebirth.
And yes, he became greater than he already was.
That's a good perspective, you know, because I've been definitely trying to figure out, like, why do people just always be like, oh,
Yeah, this is your Jesus year. That's when
when people be like, oh, 23 years old Jordan year, you about to go play basketball?
You about to get them ring. You about to feel like I got on a championship ring.
Like, why do people do that?
See, that's how I know you really not in your Jesus year.
No, I am.
It's about positivity.
No, it is. I agree with you. Like, that's a great perspective that you had.
But you talking about Jesus died.
He did, I mean.
He did, but it wasn't about that. But he was risen, honey.
So it's a rebirth.
It's a rebirth.
That's fair.
That he changed the world that year.
I do feel like I'm changing and evolving.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to ask you before we get into the episode today. All jokes aside, it is a blessing to be where you are in life. Your podcast is thriving. Your businesses, Muse Beauty is thriving. You're healthier. You're glowing. You're looking better. So how do you feel in the transitional period from 32 to 33? Like, what can you tell us about this past year of your life?
I don't know. Ever since I turned 30, to be completely honest, I feel like I have been really focusing on like self-growth. I think I talked about this on another episode.
There we go.
Recently.
Now I
I've
like
really
it.
been focused on like growing and evolving as a person. Crazy thing that you asked me that. I actually got into a minor accident earlier today.
Okay.
Oh,
Now that I fixed that,
Called you and told
I'm ready to go, and I gotta head out. But I love you all. Thank you guys for hanging out with me.
I'm fine.
I'm your fantasy sister. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss another video. And I will be back tomorrow to get ready. Love you.